Hey guys, we are back with a final video update before the Technology Vendor Summit next week. Honestly, this one's probably going to be the longest one that we've shared, but it's also going to dive the deepest into the details you need to know before the event next week. So what we'll cover is a little breakdown of the schedule of events. We'll talk about parking, and arrival. We'll give you a reminder about the time code we're hoping to use this year to help us better track the time that our employee owners are spending on putting together this event. We'll break down the roles at the TVS, both individual and kind of overall as Keller Schrader. We'll have some details for our presenters. We'll talk about some fun stuff. We'll give you a little update on the event app and a reminder there. We'll cover our wardrobe one more time. And then finally, we will give you an update on where we are at with registration. So let's start with the day before the event, staging day, Wednesday, April 9th. This year for setup, we're going to have two shifts. So the first one starts at 9 a.m. The second one is at 1 p.m. And thank you to everyone that's also agreed to be with us the entire day. That's going to be a massive help in getting everything ready that we need for the event. For the morning shift, you're going to want to show up to Keller Schrader in the back hallway of Keller Schrader HQ to help us finish loading up and transport everything down there. If you're joining us for the afternoon shift, you can go directly to the Old National Events Plaza. And then we are going to rent a U-Haul this year to carry the majority of the items that we need to transport down to the Events Plaza. But if you end up having to put some items in your vehicle, we'll need you to show up to the loading dock that's down there and marked by that star. It's off of Walnut Street at the event venue. If you've been a part of staging day before and helped us transport, it's exactly the same place as you've gone previously. If you don't have anything to load in, you'll want to use some of the designated parking spots, and we'll indicate for you in a couple of slides where those are. Also on staging day, as with previous years, we're going to have some detailed setup lists and diagrams to help make things go smoothly. As you'll see on the right, we've got some extra things that we're doing up and down the hallway and the new Keller Schrader booth. So we'll have all of that lined out. We'll be there, obviously, to kind of help guide and help with that process. For the technical team, the chat with Cvent to test all of the check-in equipment is scheduled for 1 p.m. Obviously, it's going to happen in the check-in area. If you've been a part of that before, this system works very similarly to the one we've used in the past, so we don't anticipate any hiccups. That should go pretty smoothly. If you are a part of the keynote presentation, so if you're introing or you need to be a part of that, that's going to happen at 3 p.m. in the ballroom with Kate so that we can do a rehearsal and walk through everything that we need to there. Let's talk about event day. Here's a breakdown of our schedule. So 6 a.m. we will show up and start setting up, doing any final touches, getting everything ready for the 7 a.m. arrival of our attendees. We fully expect them to start arriving that early. That happens at practically every event that Keller Schrader hosts. So we want to be ready to go at 7. We've also asked all the partners to be ready to go by then. We'll kick things off with a quick welcome session first thing in the ballroom. Then we'll move downstairs again to 2 sets of partner breakouts and then our first round of Keller Schrader sessions. We'll take a break for lunch, have our keynote presentation, and then we have some extra built-in time for networking right after that. We'll then have a couple more breakout sessions with the partners, a couple of rounds of that, and then our final round of Keller Schrader sessions. And then we'll close everything out with that happy hour we've been talking about with the live band. Yes, it says hour. We anticipate it going longer because of the entertainment that we're having. Event teardown will also start then. So any employee owners that want to start tearing things down, that'll start at 3:30. We've also asked the partners to wait until 3:30 to start breaking down their booths. And then here are a couple of additional scheduling details for you. We need several employee owners at the venue at 6 a.m. That's been indicated on some of the forms, and I think we have a pretty decent crew for that, just to help with final setup. If there's anything that we've had to lock up or put away or get the devices ready, those kind of activities will happen in that first hour. We really hope that all employee owners can be at the venue and at their first stations by 7 a.m. If you have some kind of conflict with kiddo drop-off or that kind of thing, please let Mallory know so that we can plan for that. Like we said, there are going to be some stations that are going to kick off right at 7 a.m., so we've got to be ready to go and we want to be prepared. Throughout the day, we're hoping that you can arrive at your assigned station 5 minutes before your slotted time. We are going to push out some notifications through the Cvent app to just employee owners as reminders of when you need to start heading to your spot. That way we're ready, prepared. You have the scanner if you're a scanner. All of that good stuff can be ready to go before your slot starts. If you need to switch or adjust time slots at this point, you're going to be responsible for making sure your spot is covered. There are some things that we can switch around because we are a week out that Mallory and my team can handle, but beyond that, we would love it. We have so many things that we're juggling right now. We would love it if you would just make sure that that spot is covered, especially the day of as we're running around. If you just work with each other and make sure that happens, we don't need to know about it. As long as it's covered, we trust you. So we'd appreciate that. Here is kind of an eye chart. My apologies. This was in the detailed schedule that Mallory sent. The breakdown of Keller Schrader sessions for the day. So you can see, I tried to color code it, but it's a little bit faint on this view of the screen. You can see where, if you're presenting or if you're scanning, where your slot fell. We are completely full the first round of the day and then pretty much full the second round. This is the most Keller Schrader sessions that we've done at a TVS. So we're really excited to get in front of the attendees and show our expertise. So lots of opportunities for them to learn about Keller Schrader and what we do. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. These will all be in the app. Obviously, they'll be marked on signage throughout the day so that you can see which room you need to be in. It'll be pretty easy to navigate once you're down there and see everything. So here's where to go when you arrive. Touched on this a little bit earlier. So this is for everyone. Please park in the lot at Walnut and 9th. Most people call this the back 40. It's indicated on that right picture in the little yellow shaded area. Again, if you've been a part of this event in the past, it's same place that we parked every single time. And just as only the main entrance, so that's that star on the right on the second picture that is kind of by that Locust Street wording there, that will be open. And then a second set of doors kind of down the way that's right in front of the check-in area will be unlocked. We're going to try to keep some of the passerby crowd out by limiting what set of doors are open. So those are the two that you'll want to go in when you arrive. And then as soon as you get there, you'll want to go upstairs. We will have all of the name badges for attendees in the ballroom, and we'll do just a teeny little kickoff, let you know where to go if you're helping set up what you need, all of that stuff. So once you get in the building, the ballroom is where you need to go. Here's a reminder. Mallory's been doing a fantastic job about reminding everyone this each week. If you are doing any kind of TVS related activity, please use the time code KSM17 with the sub-project 01. The narrative is also helpful just so we can break things down a little bit further, but as long as you put it in that time code, it's going to help us. We're trying to get better at reporting and ROI this year, so that's really going to help us if you make sure that everything is kind of in this one bucket for us to be able to track down for our reporting after the event. So here's where we get into your overall role at the TVS. These are some quick reminders for people maybe that haven't been a part of it in the past or have and just need a little bit of a refresh. Just keep in mind throughout the day that we are hosts of the event, not attendees. So we need to make sure that we're being cognizant of partner and guest needs throughout the day. Just again, think hospitality, being good hosts, make sure that they have everything that they need, that we're working together to solve any challenges they're having, that kind of thing. Be also considerate of attendees first when you're accepting swag from partners. I know our partners are very generous and sometimes they have some really cool things that we want to get our hands on, but we need to make sure that our attendees are getting taken care of first before we accept anything. So wait until later in the day to accept anything if you can, please. Also goes for things like food lines in the bar, just be cognizant that we're hosts and let the attendees go first. Engagement is key also to a successful event. So we can host, we can have fantastic conversations with our attendees and partners, but we want to make sure that we are engaging and interacting and having conversations with attendees as well as much as possible. So interact, try not to congregate together. we had some requests last year from some of the technical team that sometimes the introverted folks is a little bit harder for you to start conversations or know where to start when you engage. So in the app, you'll see, and this will only be available to employee owners during the event. In the app, you'll see some tips for conversation starters. So if you get stuck or you're really wanting to try to engage and you just don't know where to start, there will be some help there in the app. And then we would also love it if you would attempt to start discussions in sessions if attendees are slow to ask questions. So there's nothing, I can tell you, there's nothing that feels, maybe not nothing, but there are little when you're presenting that's worse than if you ask a question or you're staring out into the crowd and you get nothing but crickets. We want to make sure that these are engaging and very positive sessions for our sponsors that are being a part of this event. And if you can help ask a question or keep the conversation going or bring up a situation that you've had with a client, that would be fantastic. We would love that. Just talk about what you know, ask about what you're curious about. And usually if we kind of start, if attendees are slow, then the conversation will keep going after that. There's also an opportunity within the app for people to ask questions. So maybe they don't want to speak out loud. We can read through those and share those as well to get those questions asked and keep that conversation going. And then when you're in doubt, most of you have roles and responsibilities all day. There's lots to do during this event this year. Your staff managers' expectations are that you're going to learn. If you don't have a particular role at that certain time, or something that you're trying to accomplish, you need to attend a session, please. So we've got plenty going on throughout the day. There's probably something in there that could help you or you're curious about, or a partner that you want to support. Just pick a session and go to that if you don't have an assigned role at a certain time. So here are some specific event roles. So if you look at your the sheet that Mallory prepared, and this will give you a little deeper dive into what your role actually means. Staging is pretty easy. Come with us, help us set up everything that we need to do for the event. The partners will arrive at noon to start setting up their booths. We are not responsible for setting those up for them, but if they need help finding the stuff that they shipped there, they have a question about power, about the event in general, we want to help them with everybody that's down there and a part of staging. Check-in and registration is also pretty self-explanatory. You'll help attendees check in and print their name badges, give them their lanyard. They'll also receive an event swag bag that I'll show you a picture of here in a little bit, so you want to hand those out. Event greeters are going to be strategically placed throughout the venue to just help make sure that traffic flow is going where people know, especially the switches from upstairs to downstairs, from the ballroom to the breakout room, just to keep traffic moving and helping people if they can't find a breakout room for some reason, just help them know where to go. It says greeters, and yes, you will be there to greet people at the beginning, but it's more kind of traffic flow and making sure everything's running smoothly. In the One Keller Schrader area, this one's going to be a little bit different this year than it has been in the past. It's not quite as active as it was before, since we are giving a t-shirt and not doing the t-shirt press. This is going to be mostly about having conversations with attendees. So if they're looking to have more conversation about Keller Schrader, if that's your area of expertise, feel free to have the conversation. If you need to pull in somebody else, find the right person to continue that conversation. We're going to have an iPad set up to encourage attendees to complete our feedback survey. That's for a chance for them to win $250. So it is very important for us to know how they feel about Keller Schrader and their experience with us overall, as well as they have a chance to win. So that would be great. We'll also have a putting green there, all of the things. So that's going to be a lot more about conversations and just making sure everybody's doing okay, handing out swag, that kind of thing, than the kind of active printing out t-shirts that we had in the past. Oh, well, I forgot that I had this slide in here completely and just covered most of the Keller Schrader area stuff that I mentioned. So again, there's a look at the setup this year. It's going to be right in the center of all of the partner action. So we'll have high visibility, high traffic, all of that good stuff. Again, no t-shirt press because they're going to get a t-shirt at the happy hour. The masters will be playing on a monitor as well, which is why we will have that putting green game for them to win swag. We're not going to have a bunch of slicks this year as well. We'll have a few of the Keller Schrader overall books if someone wants them, but we have seen in several events lately, people just don't like the paper like they used to. So there's no need for us to print books and books of papers and have them laying out if attendees aren't going to take them. We can direct them to a certain spot on our website if they want more information, or in the Keller Schrader book. And again, that feedback survey on that iPad that's going to be set up is going to be very important to us. And it's a chance for all attendees that participate to win $250. They don't have to do it on the iPad. They can also do it within the Cvent app. So a couple of places for them to be able to do that. We'll have reminders throughout the general sessions, all of that good stuff. So if you're participating and helping at the Keller Schrader area, this is a look at what you're going to do. More employee owner specific roles. Lots of stuff going on. So client and vendor engagement, when you see that, that's exactly what it says. Just making sure that we're interacting with clients and attendees, vendors, all of the good stuff, making sure they're doing okay. Session scanning, you are going to be stationed right inside the door of each breakout room or just outside, however that works best for traffic flow. We will have a Keller Schrader provided device that will have the Cvent on arrival app, which is the one that you'll need to scan. We'll have instructions in there, all of that good stuff. All you'll have to do is scan attendees as they walk in. It's very important that everyone gets scanned for a few reasons. We provide that information to vendor partners so that they can see who attended their sessions and so that we can know who to have follow-up conversations with. It also gives them points within the Summit Circuit game that we'll talk about here in a little bit. And it also allows them to do things like fill out a feedback survey on that particular session and ask questions within the Cvent app. So all of that's dependent on them being scanned. So we want to make sure that we catch everybody that walks in. And then you'll also be responsible for hanging out in that session and keeping track of time. We have a very, very tight schedule, as you saw. So we'll have some signs in there as well that you can hold up that says like 20 minutes left, 5 minutes left, time's up, so that we can keep all of our presenters on time. If you are listed as a partner session intro, your role within the sessions is going to be formally welcome attendees at the beginning of each session. You'll cover a brief speaker intro bio. We'll have all of that prepared for you and in a folder. Quite candidly, we're having some slowness with the partners in getting us that information. We'll be happy to share it out to you prior to the event once we have everything. Can't promise we'll get them all from everyone, but at the very least, you will have that bio and some bullets in a folder within the breakout room that you're in. So you'll have that. And then again, if you can help ask questions and keep conversations going where possible, it's just going to help us all get the most out of these sessions. If you're listed as session starting announcements and you've been a part of the TVS from the beginning, I promise no cowbells or chimes or speakers or any of that stuff. We're going to take the visual route again this year. We've printed a bunch of the session starting signs. You see that little image on the right, and that will just ask you to kind of walk around with them in certain areas and make sure people know that they need to start heading towards their sessions. We're also going to be helping you out there with some push notifications to attendees to help move that traffic along. In the give back area, this is brand new for us at the TVS. We shared this in the staff meeting. It's going to be down here at the bottom at the very end of the vendor hallway. You'll have a couple of tables set up. What that role will be is assisting attendees, partners, whoever wants to help us build these 300 hygiene kits. You'll want to put one of each of the items that are on the table, except for the hand wipes. They'll be in sets of 2. You'll want to put all of those in the little bag that'll be there as well. And then once they're done, there are a couple of things you'll want to put them in boxes, package them up so that we can deliver them where they're going after the event. You'll also want to make sure, you'll have a device, kind of like the people that are doing session scanning, to scan the QR code of everybody that participates in that effort. That's also going to give them a chance to win $300 in cash. So they'll want to make sure that they get scanned. They can make as many kits as they want, but they'll only get one entry into the $300 drawing if that question comes up. And then we also have this tracker poster that will be on an easel with some little square stickers just for a fun visual to see where we're at in our packing process, see how close we're getting to that 300. Somebody will want to track that as well. Just kind of keep track of how many kits you built and add a sticker for every single one of them. More employee owner event roles. There's so much to do for this event. So if you're on tech support, most of you that are on this list have done this in the past. You'll just be on hand to assist with any connectivity issues or questions if people are having trouble with their scanning devices. If there's something that happens with the Wi-Fi that we might need to help, or somebody needs a password, if the check-in equipment might stall, like that kind of stuff, we just need people on hand all day to kind of help. That event photography is exactly what it's listed as. Jason Young graciously offers to do this, and Morgan Wilkinson's going to help it this year again too, taking event photos. We'd also love for you to take any photos on your camera and share with us, like your phone camera, and share with us as well. I'll give you a place where you can share those in just a minute. Teardown is exactly what it sounds like as well. We'll disassemble everything, pack it all back up, transport it back to Keller Schrader, get it in the garage that has been newly cleaned out. There's plenty of room in there. And then that's your final task of the event day. We also want to make sure that we're helping partners package up their supplies from their booth and make sure it's in the appropriate place for pickup. We've had some challenges with that in the past, and them not quite packaging them like they're supposed to, not putting them in the right area, and then it's sitting for like a month at the old National Events Plaza. So we want to make sure that we help them get things where they need to go. And then just a quick reminder down there at the bottom, if you see something, don't be afraid to do something. So if you see a need that needs to happen throughout the day, go ahead and take care of that. Again, we are hosts and we want to make sure that we're thinking like owners the entire day. If you are a Keller Schrader presenter, first off, thank you so much. I know that takes a lot of your time and energy to come up with a presentation that you feel like is going to be compelling and help us drive business. So we appreciate you for volunteering to do that, or being voluntold if you're in that category. You will need your laptop. So the rooms are equipped with a screen, either a monitor, like a large monitor or a projector, and you'll have a slide advancer and a table to put your laptop on. But you'll want in HDMI connectivity, you want to make sure all your slides are on your laptop. For that, you will be in your sessions responsible for introducing yourselves at the beginning of your session. So just share who you are and what you do, that good stuff. Each session, you're going to have a Keller Schrader employee owner who's going to scan all of your attendees, just like a partner session. They'll give you cues via those signs whenever you're getting close to your time. These sessions are 30 minutes instead of 45. You'll also have a feedback survey that's going to be available for attendees in the app 15 minutes prior to the end of each session. So we would love it if you would remind people at the end of your session to mention completing that survey, just so that we can know what they thought, know if there's anything that we can get better. They're also entered to win prizes via these surveys. There are extra entries for engaging in that way. So we want to encourage them and remind them to do that. For the Keller Schrader sessions as well, we've also put account managers in each of these sessions to kind of help those conversations continue. So account managers, we're looking at you to help kind of keep those conversations going and ask any questions that you think would be valuable to the guests that are in the room. Here is some other fun stuff that we haven't shared that's been solidified that's going to happen next week. NetApp is doing a fantastic job with really embracing this extra space that they get as our keynote sponsor. They're also heavily leaning into kind of the movie aspect to tie in with DreamWorks and animation. So they're going to have some really fun stuff in their dedicated room. They're going to have a SketchBot drawing robot, which you'll see there's a picture there. What it does is there will be an iPad that will take a picture of all attendees or participants' faces, and then the robot kind of does a little black and white drawing of that picture, which is pretty cool as a takeaway for all attendees. Plays into that animation idea. They're going to have movie theater popcorn in special boxes to give away. They're also going to have a candy bar. There's going to be a large monitor with some really cool DreamWorks graphics on it. We're going to have lighting throughout the room. So they really, really stepped it up as a partner and are really going to make a good showing in their room and really engage with our attendees, which we're excited about. So also in the fun stuff category is our Summit Circuit game, which is the gamification piece of Cvent that we've been talking about with this new app. It's an interactive game for attendees to go around and do things that are engaging, like simple things like if you download the app, you get a lot of points, actually the highest level of points. If you register and attend session, there are more points to be earned there. If you ask a question, there's an incentive for that. If you participate in the give back, there's an incentive. If you visit the partner booths as well, there will be QR codes associated with this game at every partner booth. If you scan those with your conversations with vendors, there are points as well. So the top 3 point earners are going to win. Price for that is TBD. We think it's going to be some sort of gift card. And then if we, for some reason, have some ties with people, we will determine that by drawing. So for some reason, 6 people would tie for first, or however we need to get to that top 3, we'll do drawings for that as well. There are some bonus points that people can earn by scanning certain codes that are going to be in the ballrooms that they'll want to pay attention for. We even worked in something for if you sit in the front couple of tables and find that QR code, then you'll earn bonus points for that. So we start filling in the front of the room earlier. So be on the lookout, encourage people to play. We hope that people will find it fun. Just as a fun change up and testing out some of that new functionality of the Cvent app. There are lots more prizes besides the Summit Circuit game. So we've got a lot of different things coming this time. Some tech related stuff, some more like home good related stuff. There are experiences like Nate Bargatze tickets, Cardinals tickets, that kind of thing. We're going to do a $200 Airbnb gift card, which is new because we know a lot of people are prepping for summer travel, big TV, all the things. There are also going to be several prizes provided by partners. We don't necessarily always know who's going to show up, but they'll do some contesting at their table, so there are chances to win there. There's the $300 give back prize, that $250 feedback survey prize, plus the game stuff. So lots of things to be had for our attendees this year. Here's what they're also going to receive. Everybody that shows up is going to get a swag bag at check-in, as we mentioned. They'll get the bag. The attendee guide will give them a lanyard with their name badge, a pin, and a couple of drink tickets for the happy hour, and then a bottled water as well. So all of that when they walk in, plus all the goodies they're going to go around and get from all of the partners that are participating this year. So more on the app. We talked about it with the Summit Circuit game, but if you haven't already downloaded it and are familiarizing yourself with it, we would love for you to do that soon. Let us know if there's anything that needs to be adjusted, if you see some revisions that we need to make, that kind of stuff. We do our best to try to solidify all of the scheduling information prior to the event and share that as much as possible, but you're going to find the most up-to-date info within the app. It's the easiest way for us to make changes on the fly, especially on event day. So you want to make sure you have that app downloaded and you're ready to go. We're also, like I mentioned, going to push out lots of notifications to let you know where to be, updates if something changes, that kind of thing. So even if you have downloaded the app, enabling notifications, at least on event day, is going to be very helpful. And again, if you see anything that needs to be updated or you have troubleshooting, please let us know, because if you're having the issue, there's a chance that several attendees are doing. We want to make sure that we kind of nip that in the bud early to prevent some of the challenges that they might have on event day. Also new this year within the app is an area for discussions. We're going to try this out for just employee owners this time around. It's basically a chat thread that we can add things like if you have any event feedback, if there are cool stories, photos that you took, if you have suggestions along the way for 2026, we're going to ask you this year to put those in that discussions area. We try to listen and hear you on event day, the Impact Growth Group, but as you can imagine, there are a lot of voices, a lot of things going on. We want to make sure that we capture everything that you're telling us. If you could put that in that discussions thread, we would greatly appreciate it. This is only viewable by employee owners for right now. We didn't want our attendees to kind of get lost in a discussion thread. We want them to be engaged and fully interactive during their actual sessions and that kind of thing. So we're just going to try it out with employee owners. Basically, anything that isn't critical, like we need to address it right now because something's going on, send it there so that we can go back to it a little bit later and review it and really capture what you had hoped to let us know. Because if you can imagine, our brains are going to be in a lot of places on event day. And I kind of put a walkthrough on there of how you can find it. It's under More, which is that little 3-line hamburger icon at the bottom right of your app. And then it'll take you find discussions in there after More under that Make Connections area. Then you'll jump into the employee owners only one, and then you can write or respond to any of the other previous comments that are in there. Here's a quick reminder about what to wear. 2025 TVS. It says blue pullover. Can you tell that I pulled these from last year? It's a gray pullover this year. Black pants, client presentable but comfortable shoes. Remember, you'll be on your feet most of the day. Name badges, again, we'll have in the ballroom at the very beginning of the event. So come up there and grab your name badge. And if you haven't gotten your TVS pullover, just to be safe, try to come and get that by the end of this week. I know Mallory was reaching out to people to make sure that they had theirs. Just please try to pick it up just to be safe so we don't run into any issues there. And then keep doing what you're doing. You guys have been fantastic about sharing things. Registration continues to tick up. I see lots of social reposting and commenting, all of that good stuff, just liking things. It's awesome. So keep on keeping on. You're doing great. Continue the social sharing. If we'll talk about it with clients, that would be awesome. We have a few postcards left as well if you want to take some leave behinds. I know we're getting down to it, but if you're seeing clients this week or early next week, couldn't hurt to drop off some postcards. Direct them to that TVS landing page, so kellerschrader.com/TVS. And in case you get a question, you'll have to scroll down just a little bit, but the session content is on the site. It's in the app as well, but you have to be registered to access the app. If they want to know who's presenting on what, partners and Keller Schrader, it's all there for them to see. And here's where, as of today, we are with registration. We have 237, which is awesome. It's outpacing a little bit what we were at last year, which is really fantastic. Thank you guys for all of your support. Again, our goal is 300, so we can get to 250 attendees. We're doing great with that, but we do have 63 people to go. So anything that you can do to help us reach that goal would be amazing. I did look last year and we got a significant push right at the end. It was over 50 registrations right at the end. So don't want to rely on that happening again without some effort there. So whatever you can do to help along the way, we would really appreciate it. And just as an FYI, registration is going to close at the end of day on Monday. Of course, people can show up that day and register on site like we always do, but giving us a couple of days to kind of process data, make sure that we have all the registrants in there like we want them to, that people are able to access the app early, that kind of stuff. We're just going to need to shut down at least the online registration on Monday. And with that, that's all we have to share. I told you it was going to be a long one. We really appreciate you hanging in there and watching till the end. If you have any questions for us this week, next week, please let us know. There are lots of moving parts that are still going on. We're just looking forward to this being our biggest and best technology vendor summit yet. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your week.